Hello everyone. Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we are going to get our first Amazon Aurora MySQL database. We will follow step by step. Okay, so this is a beginner-friendly hands-on project, and by the end of this, clearly understanding what Amazon Aurora is, how Aurora cluster work, and how to connect to an MySQL database from your local laptop. So get started. Let's change the slide. As I have already told, what we are going to learn, what Aurora is, how clusters work, how to connect to Aurora MySQL. So, this is a very beginner-friendly hands-on project, and by the end of this video, these are the what we are going to draw. Uh, First, we try to understand what Aurora is. First we try to understand what Aurora is. So the question here is, what is Amazon Aurora? So Amazon Aurora is a cloud native relational database service. So what is Amazon Aurora? Amazon Aurora is a cloud native relational database service provided by AWS. It is compatible with MySQL and PostgreSQL, but it offers like as we compare with the traditional infrastructure of the MySQL, it provides better performance, high availability, and automatic scaling compared to the traditional databases. What is the behind the scene AWS uses? So, Aurora replicates data 6 times across multiple availability zones. What Aurora does? If you are seeing this point, six-way storage replication, what it means, Aurora replicates data 6 times across multiple availability zones, which means your data is highly durable and fault tolerant. Behind the scenes, Aurora replicates data 6 times across multiple availability zones, which means your data is highly durable and fault tolerant. So now for this project, we will be seeing Aurora MySQL, and we will try to create a Aurora cluster and try to interact with it. So now let's move to the Amazon Management Console. From the console search bar, we are going to search the RDS and for the relational database service, and then we will be moving forward with creating our Aurora cluster. Let's move ahead. Uh, Change the screen. This is the Amazon panel, and in this panel, we are going to search RDS and open it in the new tab. So this is the RDS panel. If you see my slide, first we open the AWS console, then we search the RDS, click on the RDS. RDS stands for relational. In this, once we are in the RDS dashboard, we are going to the panel of databases. In this panel, we are going to create our database. For the action to perform on the AWS Cloud Console to create the database is click on the Create Database button, and then we select the full configuration database creation method. So we click on this yellow color button, create database. Okay. So we are going to choose the database creation method as the full configuration. So this we have already selected. Let's move. So what is the engine selection? So what it stands for, engine selection is the type of the database engine provider, what we are going to use, whether it is MySQL or PostgreSQL or SQL provided by Oracle or IBM or some other traditional databases, which is relational in nature. That was we are going to pick up. So, so in this engine options, we are going to select Amazon Aurora and which is MySQL compatible edition. We are going to select. So, Aurora works differently from what I mean to say from the traditional databases. So instead of single database instance, Aurora uses a cluster architecture. So where one instance act as a writer and other can act as the readers. So what we are going to see in the engine selection process, we are going to select Amazon Aurora and with the MySQL compatible edition. Let's move ahead to the AWS. If we scroll down, we are going to select Aurora MySQL compatible. So by default, engine version which is selected, we are going to select it. Then the process of template selection we need to do. So it is similar. Just what are the resources for which environment you are going to create? We select that. So we will be selecting dev and test environment. So why we are selecting? Because it is ideal for learning and keep the cost low. It is very reasonable to select it. Else, if you are planning it to use in the production, there is another production template. We can directly use that. But as we are doing and testing and learning this thing, and to keep the cost low as well, we are going to select dev and test. It. Okay. Now let's move ahead. Now the next thing is DB cluster settings. Next, we are going to configure the database level cluster settings. One is the name of the cluster. Another thing is what is the username and password for the admin user you are going to, which manages your whole Aurora cluster. So one thing we need to remember in the real production environments, credentials should not be hard coded or shared. But for this lab, this setup is perfect. So, let's move ahead and configure this DB cluster settings. So in the DB class cluster identifier, we are going to write the name Aurora lab uh, as the identifier name, and in the master username as the admin, and the password would be self-managed with a password as I have shown. You remember this thing? This is the password. Password 123 password. Yes, right one second. There might be some issues with the because we can't view this password, so we need to provide exactly the same password, the master password and the confirm master password. Ahead to the AWS tool. Next, our configuration is DB cluster storage configuration. We are going to select the Aurora standard, or there is another option of IO provisioned, but we are going to select Aurora standard, particularly because of the low cost and our testing purpose. Cluster storage configuration, we are going to select Aurora standard. Next configuration is DB instance configuration. For testing purpose, there are various types of database instances. Depending upon the requirement, we can use the compute optimized or memory optimized or the bus table classes. So for testing and trial purposes, we are going to use bus table classes, which is db.t3.medium from the drop down. Is one of the class of the Aurora cluster, Aurora instances, which will be provisioning or running your databases. Selecting the burstable classes in the drop down, we select the db.t3.media. So for connectivity, we will be for connectivity, we are going to do only the single change and rest of the settings will be default. So get to the for availability and durability, it will be don't create Aurora replica because it is kept as default. For the public access, we are going to make it yes. That is the only thing we are going to change in the connectivity page. So for additional monitoring and configuration settings, we are going. select all the default settings which are already there. Additional configuration, we it, it has default and additional default, and nothing else we are going to change. So what are the changes we have done? Let's revise this thing. For the full configuration, Aurora MySQL compatible with the dev test template. This is the identifier name, admin is the username, and the password which I provided in the slide. Aurora standard as the storage class, and a burstable class for CPU and memory configuration. Availability and durability, don't get any Aurora replica. For connectivity, it will be public access so that we can access it from our local laptop. And for monitoring database insights, let's keep the default settings for additional monitoring. The additional, so if you run them for a month, it will be costing at a rate of this, and it is 59.86. So we will be doing it for the testing, and later we delete this cluster once the testing. So, let's click on create database. So till the database is being created, let's move our slide. Finally, on the create database, it, we need to understand the cluster versus the instance. So in a Aurora cluster, there are two things. One is the writer instance, and another is the reader instance. So in a cluster, so Aurora creates one writer instance for write operations, and it can create multiple read instances for read scaling. So applications which we usually connect using the cluster endpoint, and Aurora automatically routes the traffic to the correct instance. Okay. Now let's wait till the it is being created. What we are discussing, we were discussing the till the let's see first our AWS console is ready to use or not. So you can see this till it is in configuration or modifying state. This is the cluster, and if I just add the role, it is the writer instance. So currently there is no reader instance, but yeah, we can use multiple reader instances for reading purposes. If we have a read heavy traffic application. So once the status shows available, the cluster status is available, and for the writer instance, still it is modifying. So let's wait. And once the status shows available, we will be copying the cluster endpoint, and we will be doing testing with it. Let's wait till the cluster is being created. Generally, it takes 5 minutes minimum, and maximum it can go to 10 minutes. Yeah, but once I refresh this thing, both the cluster as well as the writer instance is in available state. So now we are going to test our Aurora cluster, which is ready, and let's move ahead with the cluster testing. So we will be using MySQL Workbench for connecting to our Aurora cluster. Before doing that, I want to do some endpoint testing whether our endpoint is reachable from our local laptop or not. So let me change a few things that I can show you this thing. Let me open the command prompt. This is the command prompt, and let me gather the AWS role endpoint also. So we go to the cluster for connectivity. This is the writer and the reader endpoint. This is the configuration. Capacity type is provision, and nothing else we need to say about. So this is the cluster, and this is the writer instance. Let's copy this endpoint in our prompt, and we try to do telnet. On the port of our app. Okay, try to connect. It is connecting. It means that our Aurora cluster will took from our workbench. Let's go to workbench. We will be doing a new connection. Name it as web the host, which is the then the admin as the user, and in the password to write password as the same password. Password which we have used, wrong password one two. Password. It says the lab connection is successful. Let's open this connection. We will be inside our panel. So we will query called as select now and testing. So this is the MySQL Workbench. We will be using the query called select now and try to run this query. So it provides you the latest, the current time at which this query is run, and this shows that our connection is successful with our Aurora endpoint. So let's conclude this project and move it. So, let's quickly summarize what we did in this project. So we created an Amazon Aurora MySQL cluster from scratch. We understood the differences between a cluster and an instance, and we successfully connected to Aurora using the MySQL client. So, this is the project that we have did, and it is the process you can say that the starting point for MySQL cluster. So, in the next videos, we will be looking into the Aurora backups and point in time recovery. So, how the backups are created and how them. That's it for this video, and thank you for watching and project.